All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our last Q&A video leading up to the mid-season finale for The Walking Dead, which of course airs tonight on AMC. Alright, man, and spoiler warning if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, as per usual. So tonight is the big mid-season finale for The Walking Dead Season 9, and I'm pretty excited. We got a bunch of stuff to go through for today, but of course, after you're done watching the episode tonight, come back and check out the review afterwards, predictions for the second half, and everything like that. And damn, dude, this is going to be a long wait to the second half of this season. I mean, they started off this season earlier than usual for some reason, and I really don't know why. It's kind of strange sometimes, when they air the seasons and which date they start with for the first Sunday for the season. But man, this is going to be a tough wait because it's not even December. The mid-season finale is tonight, and then we're going to have to wait at least a couple months probably before we see the back half of Season 9. Man, crazy stuff. So, Evolution is the name of the episode tonight, directed by Michael Satrazemis. So look for some cool music, maybe montages, maybe at the beginning and at the end. I've always felt like he uses music really well. He's even directed some episodes for Fear this past year, so I'm really excited for this one. He's directed some of my favorite episodes of the series, like start to finish and episodes like that, which was a really good mid-season finale too, I'm pretty sure. Going on a couple years now. But so we'll put the links in the description. First one we want to give our thoughts on for today is there's an article from comicbook.com where Greg Nicotero, who of course does all of the zombies for The Walking Dead, or at least his team does. He basically was asked about George Romero, and he pretty much said that he did actually try to get George Romero to direct an episode of The Walking Dead back in Season 1. So it says here, quote, we love the idea of George coming on board, Nicotero said Friday in a Q&A following a 3D screening of Romero's 1978 Dawn of the Dead in L.A., VI Entertainment Weekly. It says here, original showrunner Frank Darabont and I talked about it after the end of Season 1, and I had a conversation with George, and I said, hey man, would you ever want to come and direct? This was after we'd only aired 6 episodes of The Walking Dead, so the show hadn't really even caught on. And George said, no, listen, you guys have your world and I have my world, and it's cool. I think he really was still intending on developing some other zombie stuff, so he was like, yeah, that's okay. And that is an unfortunate one. It's cool that he kind of confirms for us that they did, in fact, ask him to do at least direct an episode of The Walking Dead. That would have been really cool to see if George Romero could have done that. Of course, last July, unfortunately, last year, 2017, he passed away. So that's not, unfortunately, we'll never get to see that, and that kind of saddens me. But, he had his own projects and stuff he was working on, whether or not they ended up working out, of course. In the end, there was Road of the Dead, I believe. I did a video on this like last summer, which was one of the movies he was planning on doing. He, of course, created basically what we think of as the zombie apocalypse in Night of the Living Dead, and then his subsequent films after that. So that's unfortunate, man. It would have been really cool to see him direct an episode. And at least we know from them that they did, in fact, ask him to do one at least. And I'm sure if he would have wanted to do it, they probably would have had him done even more if he wanted to. So the next one is about the X marks. We got an update here from this week. It was from Angela Kang, who said, so the X marks, that's one of the sort of mysteries that we have this season. Kang said, it's a story that we will tell in the second half of the season. Clearly, something has happened during the time jump, and one of the things we kind of just wanted to seed in is the idea that 6 years have passed. A lot of story has happened off screen that we didn't see. In any one of those seasons, there's so much that happened, and a lot of times we're only covering a couple of weeks at a time in a whole season of the regular show, right? So imagine how much stuff they've been through in 6 years, Kang said. And so one of the things we started talking about is like, what are some big things that might have happened that affected Alexandria particularly? Who are some people that might have been involved in the story? And so we kind of came to a story pretty early on that is part of the backstory of these characters now that the audience will learn more about as the season goes on. So it sounds like we will get some definitive answers around the X's, and most likely, based on her answer here, it sounds like it's to do with some kind of, so maybe not a tribute to Rick or that kind of thing, a voluntary, them doing it to themselves type of thing, but what most people are kind of leaning towards, which is something happened during the story and someone did that to them, and we'll have to see what they have for us in the second half and what makes sense as far as during that time. Because 6 years is a long time. I mean, it's more time than we've even passed in the series prior to that. So, which is really crazy. So for them to go, that far ahead, obviously some things must have happened. And I'm sure Rick's quote unquote death or Rick leaving is always something that'll be in the back of their minds. But there must have been a lot of other stuff that happened too, during that time frame. Even if it was a relatively quiet time, there still would have been at least a few events in there that must have taken place. Barrett Bailey says, Trev, after this mid-season finale, you should do an updated Walking Dead episodes rank list. I'd be interested to see how many, or to see how these new episodes or these amazing episodes rank with the past ones. So for Barrett, well, definitely we will do that. We'll do a top 10 best episodes updated during this break because it's going to be a couple months, so there'll be lots of time to do videos like that. I would say that episode 5 has to be, for me it's probably going to be number 1, but I think no matter who you are, pretty much Rick's final episode there in the Walking Dead TV series. Now that we know he's never going to return to the Walking Dead television series, or at least most likely it's never going to happen, categorically, as Andrew Lincoln had said, that's got to be near the top, right? It has to be. And then some of the other episodes, too, that have been really, really good, like the ending to episode 4 and that, it's just hard to say because they've done over 100 episodes now of the series, and there's so many incredible episodes. But definitely episode 5 has to be on there. And then, aside from that, we're going to have to look carefully at which episodes stand out to be the most kind of influential or the best episodes of the series. Definitely for me, episode 5 has to be one of them. I don't think 6 or 7 would probably qualify. The first 4, kind of tricky to say. We'll have to go through them. The 4th one might be the best out of all of them, most exciting near the end there. But we'll go through it, and I'll go back over them again, and we'll compare and see where it makes sense for those. Horrible Video Production said, Trev, here's a topic for you. Which season features the most comic book material? So which season of the Walking Dead television series went through the most comic book material? Well, I'd have to look through each season individually and look at how many trade volumes they went through. But I think off the top of my head, season 3 probably has to be the one where they went through like tons of material, because literally, the prison story arc in the Walking Dead comic book series is a very long arc. They're at the prison for a very long time. In the TV series, they were only there for like a year and a half, or what seemed like, in terms of viewing, all of season 3 and the first half of season 4, and they even had to sort of redo in season 4. Like they had to basically retake the governor and have him get a new group, like meet with Tara and her sister and everything they did with that, and then reform a new group, take over a new group, or maybe not reform, but take over a group that he joins with the tank, and then attack the prison again. So it's like season 3 went through so much content, and the pacing was so insanely fast that they literally just like burned through so much. If they would have kept doing that same kind of pacing for the series, it probably wouldn't have worked long term. They would have caught up to the comics, or they would have it might have been exciting for another few years there, but it would have gone through too fast, and it would have caused big problems for the series, because they would have just gone through everything. Even though I guarantee you some people might have liked that better for All Out War and the Negan stuff, because you can pretty much say if they were going to continue with that pacing, All Out War probably would have taken place during season 7 before they even got to season 8. It probably would have been over, if they would have done it that way. Tyler Payne says, Trev, who will we see first, Beta, Alpha, or Lydia in the TV series version? Well, TV series version is tricky to say. Maybe I'll go, I hope we see Beta first, but I'll probably go with maybe Alpha, well, maybe Lydia first, and then maybe bring Alpha or Beta in later. But I hope we see Beta first, and hopefully the one behind the gate is Beta. If it is, then maybe we'll see Beta first. That would be really cool. I hope that's what we see, because I hope they don't wait, because that's, we all want to see Beta. It's going to be awesome. Hunter says, do you think episode 9 will be titled Whispers into Screams? I hope they title one of the episodes Whispers into Screams, because I just think it's an awesome title for the whispers and everything. It's just really cool. I know I've used it in a lot of videos and a lot of times. Unfortunately, we never got an episode called Something to Fear, which is basically what the season 7 premiere covered from the comic book series, issue 100, Something to Fear, with Glenn and everything. So I hope they eventually use that as well, too, as kind of a comic book Easter egg. That'd be cool. If they could use that, and if they could use Whispers into Screams, that would be kind of cool. I don't know, just for hardcore comic book fans. Diana Rainey says, Trev, why are all your listeners so rude? So, this is the internet. I'm not responsible for the comments made by people in this channel. If they attack you, or if people get into fights or whatever, we'll try to keep it as nice as we can, guys. But, for Diana, too, that's, what do you expect? It's the internet. That's what people do here. It's YouTube. It's YouTube comment sections. What do you want? That's it's like what you're asking for. Francis Dumiano says, Trev, what's up with Morgan's son Dwayne being listed in the credits on IMDb for the last episode of season 9? So I've been asked this a number of times now. I don't read into it at all. Some people think maybe it could be Andre Michonne's other son that we don't really know the fate of 100% in the TV series version. So we'll see. Maybe they could do something with that. Negan, she did mention him to Negan. So we'll see, but I don't know. I personally think that it's probably just, a mistake or some of that from IMDb. IMDb is not perfect, and this isn't the first time we've seen stuff like that. So that's what I think. But I don't think he'd be returning like Morgan's son is still alive or something like that. I don't expect to see Morgan back this season or anything like that. So I totally don't read into it almost at all. Left Side of the Brain said, the show needs more strong women. You want to talk about rude comments? There's there's one. It's just begging to be. It's like if there's anything we need right now in The Walking Dead, it is not more strong women. I think Left Side of the Brain was being, facetious there. I think he was kidding. Dwighty Boy 83 says, I haven't forgotten about Dwight for 1 second. He never should have been written out. But then again, his YouTube username is Dwighty Boy. So, 83. So it sounds like he likes Dwight. So hopefully we'll see him before the end of the season. And I think that could be really good, man, because it just feels like the roster is so small right now in the Walking Dead TV series that to bring Dwight back, I think, is a really good decision, and I really hope they do that. Dana the Doula says, Angela Kang was handed a shit sandwich with their lead and major supporting character leaving, but she has done an amazing job with Season 9. I'm truly impressed. The Walking Dead came back to its roots, and I can't wait to see how they fix or how they remix the Whisper storyline. So yeah, I agree, man. I think she's done an incredible job this year, and the whole team has, for how they handled the situation and kind of the ending that they had for Rick in the original television series, because it is an ending. It's not necessarily his death 100%, but it's an ending, and it's one that I think they handled just masterfully, and they did about the best they could do with it, regardless of what happens with the movies or anything else. They did it in such a way where it didn't kill the whole thing, right? Along with Rick. A crazy guy, UK No, says, Trev, do you think the future of The Walking Dead is bright? As someone that has never been burned out on it and have been there since day one myself, I really hate seeing all the negative press. This is the show in its second wind. I mean, overall, the Whispers are so exciting. Frankly, I think Ryan Hurst's Beta will become a legit horror icon once he's seen on screen. Between the planned movies, which I think should essentially be Rick's Logan and play out like The Last of Us, and Season 10 already moving forward, clearly AMC sees it going forward. But will this be the end of the road, or actually a new beginning for another 10 years? So, for this one, how do I feel about the future of The Walking Dead right now? I'm feeling pretty positive about it right now. I mean, I just think, if you look at the last few years, even in Season 8, when they made the decision to kill off Carl, that was where a lot of people started really questioning the future of the Walking Dead series and really just not understanding what they were doing and just really not being sure. And then, of course, in Fear of the Walking Dead, there's been some huge character deaths as well, too, that really shook up the series and really put us in a situation where I was pretty unsure about Fear and whether or not it was going to be able to continue. But it's been renewed for season 5, so it's going on forward. So I feel like with the movies and everything that this is really, they've kind of taken a negative and figured out a way to turn it into a positive. They really have. They've taken a really bad situation that normally would probably kill almost any series, and they found a way to do the movies. They found a way to have it make sense for everybody, to where the series can still continue. And, who knows in a year or two how we are going to feel about the original Walking Dead TV series. Who knows, right? We may not enjoy it as much as we did during seasons 4, 5, 6, 3, maybe start to 7, that type of thing that, most of the community would say is like the peak time of The Walking Dead, or season 2 with Shane and that stuff. And season 1, everyone has their favorites. But personally, I feel like the future for The Walking Dead is bright. And I feel like they're doing such a good job right now, and everything is going so good. I don't agree with absolutely everything they did. Should Carl probably still be alive? Was it really worth it to kill him off in season 8? Probably wasn't worth it when you look back on it. But they were doing what they thought was best for the series and what they thought would make the most sense and keep the series unpredictable, I think. And who knows, there could have been other things behind the scenes going on that we don't know about with regards to that one. With Rick leaving and everything that happened with that, it's like, damn, yeah. So it's just, I think they've recovered, they've done the best they could do given the set of circumstances that they've had. And even though, of course, I think we don't all agree with all the decisions they made with certain characters they've killed off, either in Fear or in The Walking Dead. Certain ones, maybe it would have been cool to see them survive on longer, and it maybe wasn't worth it. But still, personally, I am pretty optimistic about the future of the series. I think The Walking Dead, if it continues like this, it could still continue to turn out to be really good. I don't know necessarily which characters are going to sort of take over, and if we'll ever have another Rick. I think eventually we will. Morgan is kind of the Rick right now of Fear the Walking Dead. Of course, Rick is going to be the Rick of the movies, obviously. The original Walking Dead series, I think it has to kind of refine itself now, and I think it can, I think it will, and I think someone will come to the forefront. If it's not Daryl or Michonne, then we'll see. If Maggie returns, great. If she doesn't, okay. But personally, I think that I'm optimistic about the future of the series. And if anything else, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off between predictability and kind of having that nice story that you want, where the good guy survives and the hero survives until the very end. The Walking Dead is probably, without outside knowledge, without spoiler knowledge, without news knowledge, if you're just a casual viewer, it might be the most unpredictable series you've ever seen. I mean, to think that they would have Rick, enter that set of circumstances just in a regular episode, like episode 4 and episode 5, and then do all the things they did, it's so unpredictable. To kill Carl off in season 8 is like the most unpredictable thing ever. It seemed like a no-brainer that he would be alive until the very end of the show. Like, Carl would be alive until the show was over, and when he finally died, it would be like the last episode of the series. On the flip side of that nice story is the unpredictability, which is what they've gone more towards here, and how the circumstances have fit that unpredictable side of the series. And that really has kind of put us in a state where we're very unsure. And, with the uncertainty state is like, but you got to watch to find out. You got to watch to see. And if anything else, it's just extremely unpredictable. And you really don't know what the hell is going to happen. So you got to tune in to find out. And then see how you feel about it later, because you really don't know ahead of time what the hell is going to happen. We don't know if Maggie's going to return next year. We really don't know. It really could go either way. We really don't know. So yeah, man, if anything else, it's certainly exciting to follow. It's exciting to watch. And I'm looking forward to heavily the original Walking Dead series, seeing what it can do without Rick, seeing what it can do with all these changes, and who is going to kind of not step up, because I know Norman Reedus has said that, it's about them all. It's not about just one character or anything like that. But I think the fans are the Pareto principle applies. The fans are always going to look at certain characters that they like and that they gravitate towards. And I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be on the cover season 10, season 11. Who's it going to be? Like, who's going to be those characters that stand out at the forefront? Is it Daryl? Is it Michonne? Is it Maggie? Is it, somebody else? Judith? We're gonna have to wait and see. And the last one for today will be from Diana Rainey, who says that with almost all the original cast being gone, and then they got into here saying that the ratings dropped in half when Rick leaves. So let me clarify for that one. They actually didn't. People said they were going to leave, but they didn't. The ratings were pretty much stable all the way through, which I think is a win. They're pretty much the same, whether Rick was there and now these 2 episodes that Rick is gone, and the mid-season finale that Rick is gone. That's a win, if you ask me. I think that's a huge win for them. So they should congratulate themselves that they were able to keep things, keep the same amount of people interested as were before. So nobody really got pissed off and rage quit. Or if they did, the amount of people that re-added were enough that it offset the rage quitters. So, will the show end for good? So, and with season 10, right? The video of season 10 I did yesterday. So, no, they're not going to be ending the series anytime soon from what they've said. It hasn't been officially renewed for season 10 yet, but it'll get renewed for season 10. It's going to get renewed. They're working on it already. Certain people have signed on again. It's going to come back, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Let's do one more last one from Daniel. So in other words, do I think it's going to get canceled? No, I do not. Now I don't think so at all. I think they're through the herd. They're covered in guts, but they're through the herd, and they're just on the no way out. They're just on the outside. They're just getting out of there, so they're going to be fine. This is going to be a Glenn and Rick situation. We'll see if they can find a fast car and drive off like season 1 style, or what's going to happen after. But they're out of the herd. They're over the fence. They're going. They're good. Daniel Weatherly says the Negan storyline was so much better in the comics, but I definitely think the Whisperers storyline will be better in the TV show. And I agree with you about the second part. I think the Whisperers are probably going to be way better in the TV series than they were in the comics, because in the comics they were really cool, but you just can't get that same horror feel about it. It's scary and everything like that, but it's not the same. Horror is definitely better, I think, on screen. I don't think there's any comparison there. The way you can use music, lighting, everything else is going to be wicked cool, man. I can't wait to see this. But as far as the Negan storyline, I enjoyed it in both. Maybe you could say that All Out War in the comics was better because it wasn't stretched out over a couple years, and the break between season 7 to 8 kind of hurt it and lost the momentum a bit. But personally, I really like season 8 too, and I know I'm alone in that, so I won't go into that in detail. But I wasn't disappointed with that. But I agree with you that I think the Whispers will be better in the TV series than they were in the comics. Plus, it's so damn exciting because you have no idea what's going to happen. If you guys like this video today, be sure to come back tonight, watch the review after you see the mid-season finale. Thumb it up below. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I think we got through the worst case scenario, and everything is going good, and I'm very happy and feeling optimistic for the future of the series, and as well as doing this with you guys in the channel and making these videos. So that's great. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below, all that good stuff, and I'll see you again soon tonight after the episode. It's Trev, saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.